All right, Carissa, if
Thank
you're
you,
good to go,
George.
it's all you.
Thank you. I will share my screen on the view board behind me in just a moment, but before I do, I wanted to start with a question or maybe a couple questions real quick. I just wanted to make sure, seeing, we've got a nice group of folks here. I'm not sure if you showed up hoping to participate. I'll try to move at a pace where if you want to attempt to follow along, you can. I'll pause here and there for questions. So make sure if you have questions that come up, please drop that in the chat. George will be watching as well. And also, I wanted to ask, since we're here to talk about non-digital content, what sort of non-digital content do you like to use? Please drop it in the chat, right? Just to keep the conversation going in your classroom, maybe on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. Nice, very nice. Now I have a few things that I've put on my wall, right? Because I'm not in an actual classroom at the moment, but I simulated a classroom in my home office here. So I'll make to kind of use that as my example. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and we will dive right in. Now, if you'd prefer to watch through the camera, you're welcome to do that. Just make sure you pin that video icon on the Teams. Share screen. All right, let's see. Perfect. Let's go ahead and minimize this and pull up my ViewBoard software. So first thing is I opened up my ViewBoard software and I logged in. Now, hopefully everybody here knows how to log in. Just in case if you don't, I'll just point out for just a brief moment. Let's make this even smaller here. Let's cancel that. In the bottom right corner where you see my face, the tiny little head and shoulders, that is where I can, screen's a little cranky right now. That is where I can log in with my screen share got a little crazy. I'll give it a second to catch back up. Let's see. It looks like you don't see what I see. Let me just pull this back up. Sorry about that. Give it a second to get back on track. Community circles, manipulatives, great. Love that. A nice wide variety of things here. See. All right, here we go. Okay, perfect. The bottom right corner where you see the head and shoulders icon where my face is, this is how we log in. And you'll use your Google single sign-on if you're a Google school. You use the Microsoft Windows logo and your school email if you are a Microsoft school. Perfect. Thank you, Patricia. Technology likes to have a mind of its own sometimes. All right, so some of the things that I like to do with my non-digital content, whether that's an anchor chart, a PDF, a graphic organizer, or even physical manipulatives, is be able to show it under my document camera if I have one. Now, I understand some of you might have a document camera, some of you might not. So, take what resonates with you, leave what does not. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my document camera. So I'll go ahead and get rid of this arrow here. To access my document camera on my ViewBoard, we're going to go to the magic box. The magic box looks like it has a whole bunch of educational goodies inside. I'll go ahead and tap on that. Now, for those of you that are still getting used to the new My ViewBoard 3, you have two choices of how you use the magic box. At the top, there's the option that says Home, and there's the option that says All Features. The option that says Home gives you a description of all of the different things that you can do. The All Features simplifies it into a clean list. So we're simply looking for the camera. And if you look at my screen, it's at the bottom of the list here. When your document camera is plugged into your ViewBoard, it should show you the document camera in order for you to select it. So I'll go ahead and select my ViewSonic webcam. And a little window will pop up. Now you can see the papers that I put on my simulated classroom here. So I'll go ahead and let's close out of that, and let's go to the bottom right corner of this pop-up, and let's drag that down to make it bigger. If I use the line at the bottom, I could move this anywhere on my screen that I'd prefer it to be.
What do you need? Why? What's up?
I'll go ahead and turn the lights up a smidge so it's a bit brighter. Maybe we'll see a little better that way. Oh yeah, that's better.
Come back here.
All right. Now, it is, if you couldn't tell, movement based. I'll go ahead and make my camera a bit closer. I don't want to make anyone seasick moving it around. Okay. Now, if you're not familiar, Brain Dance is by Anne Green Gilbert, and I used to teach dance a few years back. I also taught technology and elementary school, so a couple different roles. I've been in the schools. I was in the schools for 13 years in various roles and settings. So I wanted to share this because it's a fun and different topic that we don't hear about very often, but also for those of you that might want a little bit of a brain break for your students. I've actually done the brain dance with middle school age kids, and it might sound silly, but they even love it too. So these are my anchor charts that I happen to have on the wall, or maybe it's a physical worksheet that I want to place underneath the camera. Okay, just to give you a few examples. So if I want to go ahead and make it even bigger, I can do that. The ... will give me even more options where I can make it high resolution. I can flip if I need to, or rotate should that paper or object be facing the wrong direction under the camera. Okay. Now, this is a live video, of course, so if I go point to it on the wall, the students will see, we're all going to start with taking a few breaths. I can pause that if I need to with the pause button. But my favorite thing to do with the document camera is actually take a screenshot. That's that camera lens that looks just like a shutter on a camera. So I'll tap on that. And it places that picture a little bit bigger onto my canvas. Now, one more thing while this document camera overlay is up on the screen, if you look at the bottom where the black bar is, there's a pen and a caret arrow to show me options. I do have a pen that I can use here to write on top, should you wish to do so. Now, you do have choices, so I'm going to go ahead and X out of my camera overlay. That's the bottom right, because I'm going to use the bigger image instead. Now, I'm not sure how many of you were on Dan's webinar that we had a couple weeks ago, but a friendly reminder, Dan mentioned that everything we do is through the select tool. That's the arrow on the far left of the main toolbar. So I need to change this image a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and move it over. And first make it a bit smaller so I can crop out those black bars. Okay, I want to turn this into a worksheet that I could write on the screen. If you wouldn't mind muting.
Miss Coronel? Is Romeo just going to lunch as like normal? Yeah. Okay. You have 3 minutes.
All right. Now I'll tap on that image and I get the adorning menu. This menu that comes up is called the adorning menu. The first icon is the lock that will lock it on the page. We're looking for the second icon. It's a square with ends hanging off. This is to crop. I'll tap on the crop and I'll drag the circles in to where I'd like it to be. Now this one's for my students, not really a reminder for myself, so I'm going to use the image on the left. Now notice at the bottom, I can crop with a rectangular crop option or a circular crop option. And then there is a check mark to say, yes, I like it, or an X to start over. So check. Perfect. Like it that way. I'll tap on it again. Make it the size that I want by dragging the circles. Okay, so we drag the circles to crop, we drag the circles to resize. And now this image is a movable object on my page. So like I said, I want this to turn into a worksheet. So in order to do that, I need to lock it on the page. I'll tap the lock. There we go. Okay, now I can go ahead and I can write on here, I can draw on here, whatever that might be, right? Maybe you're used an anchor chart, maybe you've used a physical worksheet, maybe you use coins, right? Whatever your non-digital content is. So go ahead and circle, right? We're going to start with breathing, and then we'll go to tactile touch next, okay? As an example. I'll kind of pause for a second, let you all process. If anyone's tinkering and trying, I'll give you a moment to do that. Let me know if any questions have come up for you. I love that. That's a great idea, Darren. Yes, Shannon. The camera that I'm using is an external webcam. However, you can use an external document camera, right? Like a Ladybug or an Elmo, or even, you know, how I'm using a webcam, and I just have it, I literally just have it aimed at the wall. There's my camera aimed at the wall. You're so very welcome. Thank you for asking. Okay, so just plug your camera directly into your ViewBoard, or if you are using the camera with a laptop, you can do that as well. You can plug it into your laptop, but it works just fine. Plugged right into the USB ports in your board. I just kind of moved my head aside so you can see where I'm pointing in the camera. All right, let's see. I'll do this in Spanish. I love that, Veronica. I'm happy to see you today. Thank you, George. Well, when it's an image, this is an interesting question, Peter. If I hadn't locked the image, let's go ahead, I'll choose select, I'll tap on it, I'll unlock it. I could select a portion to crop it, or I could make a bunch of copies and crop it to do the individual ones, if that makes sense. I could copy. In the adorning menu, copy is the stack of papers, 2 papers. And then I could paste. The paste is the clipboard in the floating toolbar. And then I could crop one for each thing. That's one way to do it. It's a couple steps, but it is an option. It's a very good question. Yes. Yeah, you could, instead of making a bunch of copies and cropping, you could just select, do a bubble select. You're welcome. Real quick, just to make sure I give you the most efficient way to do that, my brain's still processing. The best way to do it is in the screenshot option. Let me go ahead and grab my pen and draw an arrow to it. It looks like a camera. It's in between the browser and the windows. Full screen, snip, snip, bubble delete, bubble select. Okay, full screen, snip, snip, bubble select. So for that purpose, you'd want the bubble select. Alrighty. Okay, I'll go ahead and add a clean page to my file here. I'm just watching to make sure no more questions come up while we move on. By the way, right, because a lot of us are still getting used to the new version 3. The plus sign in the floating toolbar is how we add a clean page. Pages are free. And then I can use the little triangular or caret arrows to go back and forth through my pages. The little oval, the oval that says 2 out of 2 will show me both of the pages in my ViewBoard file. Okay, little overview there. All right, so I know some of you might not have a document camera or a camera of the sort at your disposal, so this next little bit is for you. Some of you might already have it, some of you might not, is our companion app. Now, I know I'm sharing my screen, but if you still have my camera up, I'm going to show it to you in the camera real quick, and then I'll let you see how to get it. It's called Companion. It's the yellow cloud with a cell phone in it. You can add our companion app to a phone if you want. You can add it to an iPad. You can even add it to most computers, like if you happen to have a MacBook. I do have the app on my MacBook, but it's typically best used on a phone or a tablet. Okay, so I'll go ahead and write it on the screen. My ViewBoard companion. All right, so what I'll do next is I'm going to show you how I can just use that app to take a picture with my phone or my tablet and send that picture to the screen. Now, I don't have to be standing at the board, right? I can be anywhere in my classroom. I can be in the back of the room. I can be off to the side. I can be at my desk. Okay, I'm going to show you some screenshots of what that looks like first, and then I'll go through it and demonstrate second. Okay, I'll go ahead and add another clean page here, and I'll pull in my screenshots. So this is a really great review of how to import a file, because I'm going to import the screenshots that I want to show you from my Google Drive. Okay, by the way, if you're a OneDrive user, you can import from OneDrive. So I'm going to go to the File folder in the main toolbar, which is called File Management. Okay. Now, when you open the folder, the default is to open an OLF. I like to call it OLAF, and OLAF is a ViewBoard file. All right. I want to import my own images, so I have to click Import. Okay. Just make sure when you want to pull in your own things, you always need to click Import. Now I'll choose my Google Drive. If you're a OneDrive user, you can, click on the OneDrive. If you don't have your Google or your OneDrive connected, maybe we can go over that at the end if anyone needs some help with that or a review of that. But we do also have new YouTube videos on how to do that as well. Okay. I'll double click my drive and I'm going to find those images. Go to Photos and Throw, Companion and Throw. Perfect. Here's my one. I need one more. Import Google. We need this one as well. Okay. We will start. Let's get rid of this arrow. Go away. With the top image. Let's make it nice and big. Oops, too big, Carissa. There we go. All right. When you first download the companion app, if you don't already have it, it will ask you to sign in. You will sign in as the host. Ignore the word IT. Okay, you are the host. The teacher is the host. Then the second step will be to choose whether you're using the Google or the Microsoft single sign-on. Make sure you tap on your school account. Okay, so the first thing that you can do with our companion app is sign in with the QR code that I've circled in yellow when you log in on the ViewBoard every morning, whether that's on the board or on your laptop. You can aim the QR code from the companion app at the QR code on the screen to log in instead of having to click and come back. Okay. Now, the other thing that we can do is when we have multiple pages on the screen, we'll go ahead and open mine back up. Okay. Go ahead and use the remote control options and change through the different pages. So I'll go ahead and tap on that. Okay, perfect. Now let's use, let me take a quick look at that question. I'll let George handle that while we stay on track up here, if that's okay. That is a fantastic question. We're going to take a look at the second screenshot that I have on the screen at the moment and practice what is called throw. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna show it to you first in the screenshots, and then I'll show you how after. When I'm doing throw, that's the paper airplane option. We're throwing digitally to the screen, not physically, okay? It will allow me to send an image, like I said, from my phone, my tablet, whatever. The second step is it asks for you to put the host name. Who is the host? You. Whatever your ViewBoard name is in that top left corner, that's the host name. Okay, it might be your full email address. It might be something shorter if you've figured out how to change it. If you would like to change it, I can show you how to do that as well. All right, you take a picture, you press the airplane to send it. It will tell you it is throwing. It will say success. I'll tap got it. And then it asks, would you like to open the photo? And if you'd like to, you can tap yes. So I'll go ahead and do that now. I'll add one more clean page and we'll go through that process. I'll tap throw and I'm going to use my camera to take a picture of one of my charts on the wall. Now it's asking, would I like to retry or is my photo okay? Fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. Don't forget your host name. Tap the airplane to throw. It just made that nice little chime saying success. I'll go ahead and tap got it. Would I like to, now I'm going to get real close to the computer here. Would you like to open the photo? Yes, right? I'm not touching the board. It's hard to tell because I'm in close to it, but I'm nowhere near it. And there's my photo. Now my photo did come up sideways. No big deal. Let's rotate it. Yes, we'll do that at the end. Okay. The curly arrow will allow me to rotate. So let's make that upright and let's use those circles because we know that the circles will let us change the size. Make that taller like it's supposed to be. And then again, I can crop the top and that bottom out should I wish to do so. Check mark when you like it. Okay, remember crop is the square with the ends hanging off. Let's make it bigger. So just kind of two different ways to do the same thing. One if you have a document camera, one if you don't, you can at least take advantage of using your cell phone. We all have these, right? Everyone has a walking document camera in their pocket now, or tablet if that's your preference. Right? So then again, you do have, it looks like my remote control options are glitching at the moment, but I'll just go ahead and go back to the image and show you and tell you what it's supposed to do when it is behaving properly. Let's bring this image back. After I've sent an image to the screen and I tap on the icon in the bottom in the middle, the phone with the Wi-Fi signals coming out. The laser works with the OCR data in your phone like an actual remote laser, where I can hold it down and aim at the screen. Now, right, can't see it at the moment. And I can also use the arrows to change through the different pages as I move around the room, right? Another example is if I have a student or a group that needs a little bit of proximity, but I don't want to derail what we're doing. Okay, just to give you an example. I find it's easier to aim the laser when you're farther away from the screen and a bit more difficult when you're up close. Okay, so I'll go ahead, I'll pause for a moment, catch a breath, and see what questions you have at the moment. And also, let's do a check-in. What is something that you're going to try this with tomorrow? Little challenge. And you're more than welcome to unmute and let me know that way if you would prefer, since we're having a break to chit chat, ask questions, talk.
I just turned that back on. I turned it off because I couldn't figure out who was unmuting, so they can unmute themselves now.
Oh, sorry. You know, a little collaboration.
Hey, George and Carissa. Links do work if you import Google Slides.
I saw, thank you.
Yeah, that works properly, whether it's an image that's linked or whether it's a text link. It might not work if it goes down as a PDF and then back in, but from Slides, it does work.
Thank you, Darren. I was asking like 3 different people because I don't think I've checked to see. I don't think I've imported something with a slide. So thank you for checking on that.
Bet.
Yeah, definitely try it again, Monique. And if not, you're always welcome to make a post in the community, and I can, hop on a call with you another time if need be. Okay. Veronica, yes. From what I remember, it's your full email address. So it's whatever your name says in the top left corner. So I'll give folks another moment. Oh, Ashley, that's wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that. Where are you located again? Nice. Chromebook launcher, Monique. Let me think for a second. Is it that it's that the My ViewBoard app isn't showing as one of the apps you can use on your Chromebook? Is that what you mean? I would ask your district tech department about that. They should be able to push it out to there's a couple things they can do. They can force install it on your device, or they can make it available for you to install yourself through Google Play. Those are 2 things that they can do.
I love
And
Darren
if you want,
giving.
Monique, why don't you drop your email in the chat for me? I'll grab a picture of it so that way I can follow up with you if that's okay. If you don't mind, so that way we can get you what you need. Just grab a picture of that real quick. Oh, you're welcome, Susan. By the way, since we're having a little break in kind of chit-chatting for a moment, we do have another webinar coming up on December 2nd with Barry. This is about making things more interactive. And then another one on December 16th, which will be with Tawny. And that one is focused a little bit about our originals. The sign-up links are not there in the community yet. So keep your eyes peeled for those links to get posted. And 2, I just wanted to tell you those dates so you can think about it and add it to your calendar if you want. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else at the moment? Other questions? Questions about this specifically? Oh, Darren, your hand is up.
It's not about that specifically, though I love that. I was tempted to throw something to you. Are you able to get multi-slides or multi-PDF on one page? Like not different tabs, but within one tab, 2 PDFs to a page? I haven't been able to do that. Maybe either of you know just offhand.
Yes, and I'll pause for a second. I want to make sure before I answer that question, if it's okay with you, I do want to tell the group here how to change the board name if they want to, just in case, because
you should.
By default, it is your full email address and you might not want it that. Okay. It's up to you, right? You're the teacher, you make the decisions in your classroom. Let me scroll down here. Yeah. All right, so I'll go ahead and minimize. Now, by the way, what I'm about to show you, these particular settings, you don't have to do this on the board. It's actually easier to do on your laptop, okay? So I'm going to minimize, and I'm going to open my browser. We just need to go to myviewboard.com. Okay, and I'll actually kind of do this a little bit slower for anyone who wants to change these settings with me in real time. Now, once we're here at myviewboard.com, in the top right, we'll choose Sign In. And then you sign in with your appropriate single sign-on, whether that's Google or Microsoft. I'll be using Google. All right, next up, you might have your rectangles different than mine, a different order, different options. Just find the one that says My ViewBoard with the software's icon. I'll point to it in this camera here. Now at the top where it says Preferences, it says My ViewBoard Name, Session ID. That is what you want to change if you would like to change your board name. Now, if your board name is already taken, if there's a Carissa here, I'm sorry, you can't have the board name because I took it first. Okay? So if you find that you have, a common name, add maybe some numbers, add your grade level, your subject, numbers, whatever you like, kind of like making a screen name or an email. Okay? No spaces, by the way. Roll down a bit. And I'll point out just a few other things you might like to customize. Under the general settings, I like to have the date and time show in the top right corner of my view board. And that's why I have that toggle on. If you don't want it there, you can turn that off. Susan, the recording is going to go in the community and on our YouTube channel. And then down below that, there's an auto sign out time. If I don't touch my whiteboard, my ViewBoard app, for 2 hours, it will sign me out. Below that are your pen settings. So the thin tip, the one that writes like a pen, I have mine set to that fuchsia color. And then the larger tip, which is works like your finger, I have that set to teal. You can change those colors to whatever you would like, if you would like. Last but not least is font settings. You can change the default font size. I have mine set to size 72 because that's what I like it for to be on my board. You can change that if you want on yours. If you're not really sure, play around, but at least you know that this setting is here if you want to change it in the future. And I also have my font color set to a slightly darker shade of teal. And don't forget to tap Save at the bottom. And that will allow you to have a customized board name or a shorter board name if your email is super duper long. I'm going to scroll back up to the top to show you one more thing at the moment here while we're on the website. On the sidebar on the left-hand side, we see Preferences, Bookmarks, Backgrounds. I'm going to tap on Backgrounds. When we started our session this afternoon, you may have noticed that I have my background set to that pale purplish pinkish color. I'm not a very big fan of the bright white screen in my face, so that's why I chose a pastel color. It's, you know, gentle on the eyes, easy on the eyes. So if you'd like to change your background color to be some other color aside from bright white, you can. You don't have to. To do that, we'll choose the option in the middle that says My ViewBoard Default. Okay, now you can see if you look at my screen share, my first box is that pastel purple. Yours is probably a really bright blue. It's a color picker. I'm going to click on it and show you how it works if you're choosing to opt in and do this. When I click on the color picker, what I do is I slide the bar, the circle on the bar, to the color that I want. Oh boy, I'm changing it. I don't want to change it. And then I slide the circle above to the exact shade that I want. Okay. First slide it in the bar, then slide it in the gradient to the exact shade that you'd like. Then every day when you sign in, you'll have whatever color you've chosen as the background if you wish to do that, right? You don't have to. Everything is a choice. So that is how you can customize those few settings that you might want to or not want to do, your choice. I'll pause and see if there's any questions around that, and then I will kind of bounce back to Darren's question as well. Give folks a minute to process. Alrighty, I haven't seen anything come up, but if I do, I can address those things next. So Darren asked, hey Carissa, hey Carissa and George, can I have 2 PDFs side by side? Yes, but it takes one extra step or a couple extra steps on your part. But if that's what you need, that's what you need. So I saw earlier, right when we first started, when I asked you, hey, what kind of non-digital content do you want to use? I noticed at least one of you said PDF. I didn't count how many, but I know I saw it. So this is a great review for someone who might not already know how to import a PDF as well, right? I imported images earlier, but let's do a PDF this time so that we can address the question. All right, so first up, we're going to the file folder. Don't forget to click import. I'm saying it because I have to tell myself this sometimes too. All right, now find whatever that file is, wherever it might be, right? It might be on your desktop, it might be in your downloads. Mine's in Google Drive. So I'll go to Google Drive. And then I'll go back to the top of my drive here. My drive. Lessons. And I'll stick with the theme that I've been going with today. Why not? Let's do stage directions. Switch it up. Still on the theme of movement. It's importing my PDF. This is a couple different pages, right? Simple, but it's a multi-page PDF. Now, if you're not familiar with this window, I'm going to take a moment to kind of go through. Here's all my pages. If I don't want certain pages, like I don't actually need the title here, right? I just want the directions. Okay. On the right-hand side, it says import as object or set as background. I like to keep things as simple as possible. Just leave it as object. And this is what makes your things clickable, movable, etc. when you're doing a slide. by the way, right? This is a PDF, but this is the best way to do a slide as object. Keep it like it is. Okay. Now it's also giving me the option to choose the layout of landscape versus portrait. This is horizontal, so I'll choose landscape. And then last but not least, it says import in a new tab, check. I want to keep this in this ViewBoard file. My untitled 0, look in the top left right under my ViewBoard, instead of in a new tab, a separate file. I want to keep it under this file. So I'm going to uncheck so it stays in one ViewBoard file, not 2 files. Import my 4 pages. All right, there we go. Nice and big. Perfect. So, brief little overview how to import a PDF. File folder, import, find it, then go write on it, go teach. Okay, that next level of, well, I really want the 2 pages on the same page. I'm going to use the hand tool. I'm going to zoom out. Okay. Select the select tool, because when I import a file, it's automatically locked. Tap on it, unlock it, cut or copy, go to the next page, zoom it out, resize it if you want, whatever. And now I'll just paste this one. Move, oops, I need to go back, move this back over here. Select the cursor, the select tool, put it next to it, lock it. Couple steps, but you can. Does that help? You're muted, friends.
Well, I wasn't talking. Does it help? No, I have teachers who have, 200-page PDFs,
Yeah.
and they're like, yeah, but Darren, I want 2 or 4 to a
Well,
page.
that's the way to get them side by side.
That's what I'm doing. So we're on the same page. So great. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. All right, I'll just take a peek at the chat and see if any other questions came up, any other thoughts, comments,
You have
on or off. Yes.
Monique, when she imports the page, she runs into the thing that we run into sometimes where it starts on page 2 because it thinks page 1.
It inserts a blank page in the front. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It doesn't know that page 1 is a blank page.
Yeah. That happens. Oh, thank you, Veronica. Thank you, Darren. Let's see. Let me do a quick time check. Oh, perfect. I'm going to stop my screen share real quick and just kind of, hang out with you for a little bit, see if there's anything else on your mind at the moment. What is the other way George put in the chat? Sorry.
Okay, so she really loves Classroom Screen. So if you would share your screen and then the embedded browser.
Yeah. I shouldn't have stopped.
No, you're good. It's okay. She just put that question in there.
Yeah.
I think that's what she means, or she means put
See,
me in the chat, but I don't think that's it. So
Okay.
So in the embedded browser, just add Classroom Screen.
All right. Let me just make a clean page. The embedded browser is the browser that looks kind of like Safari. I'll go ahead and draw an arrow. Let me grab my pen. Draw an arrow. That one right there looks like Safari. Embedded browser. Okay. Let's give it a moment to load all of the tiles. Embed George, right? Wouldn't we all love to do that? Okay, let me scroll down now. Let's see. I'm not sure which tile it is, but what we can do is I'll just explain. I'll teach you. Any website that I want to use on the screen and still have access to my whiteboard at the same time. It's okay, Monique. Don't apologize. You're good. I can open it this way. So let's see. I'll go ahead. Look, we're going to stick with my theme. I'm going to tap on this website. You're going to choose whatever website you want to use for your content instead. All right, so I can move this over here if I want. I still have my whiteboard available as one way I can do this. Another thing I can do that's pretty neat is if you look in the bottom of the embedded browser bar, there's a touch button, there's a screenshot button, so I can simply take a screenshot if I want, or I can embed it. It's the 3 squares with the plus sign. Now this is a widget on the page. Let's grab the select tool. Let's move it wherever we want it. And I can still use the rest of my whiteboard and have that on there as well if I want. Now, what's another thing, I should have said this earlier, and I thought of it just now as we're going through this, is you could even use the camera side by side and still be able to write on the screen if that suits what you're doing too. So I'll go back into the magic box. I'll choose my camera. I'll turn it back on. And then we can put this over here. Right now I'm making this into like a whole interactive thing, right? Now the screen I'm working with today is 55 inches. I'm sure some of you have a 55, but I'm sure many of you have a 65 or 75-inch screen. So you got a lot of real estate on that whiteboard. And look at that. Now I can use the rest of this page to write.
And if you don't notice, that element of dance is an actual website. So I used to put links in my Google slide that would send me somewhere else. She added the elements of dance website into her presentation. So it's like an actual thing. So the embedded browser is probably my favorite tool. Can you expound, Darren?
Well, George and Carissa, don't you find that's amazing? Because you have, let's say, your PDF of like number lines or base 10 blocks, but then you have an actual online manipulative, like the Online Math Learning Center, where you're actually doing that stuff and manipulating. And then you're doing the drawing below, and you're doing a bunch of things like that, where it's not just a PDF annotation. It's like, why would I use my ViewBoard? Well, because you can have
Look at what you can do. So
yeah,
much.
It's a pretty easy sell. Yeah, it's great.
I love it.
Hi, Carissa. Sorry, I had the question about the classroom screen. I'm just wondering, because we're going through subscriptions for my school, and I know that like ViewBoard has a lot of interactive tools. I'm just wondering if there is a way to kind of have it set up where, like a classroom screen does, where you can have your timer and you can have your timetable all on one page. Like I know like you might have to play around with maybe using Canva to have it as a background, but I'm just wondering if there is anything, a tool that we can use to kind of set up.
Yeah, so I'll
like
give you a little
task or things like that.
I'll give you a couple sneak peeks, and then what you can do is you can play around with it for homework. I don't want to step on Barry's toes because I don't know what she has planned for December 2nd. Her session called Make It More Interactive. But I'll give you oh, thank you, Serena. I'll give you a couple sneak peeks of at least, one thing I think you're gonna like based on what I heard you say. So I'm gonna go back to that magic box. You're welcome. Thank you for asking. Making this super fun for me, if you couldn't tell. All right, under the magic box again, home gives you a description, all features a simplified list. I'm going to go to the option that says tools. It's roughly in the middle, kind of. I'll scroll down. And then I see there's a timer and stopwatch option. Now it popped up on top of my website, so I'll just bring it down. Maybe I put it right here, right? Whatever, doesn't matter. You put it where you want it. I can use the plus and the minus to change the time, or if I really prefer, I can just tap and type. Let's put 3 minutes instead. Okay. Play. So there's one little gem. So take a peek at all of those tools. I'm sure now that you know that those are there, you know, you might be exploring those later today or tomorrow, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But at least there's, you know, the timer that should be useful to you. And I know some of us really like to use those snazzy timers from YouTube, or like to have ambiance playing in the background. So you can use, you know, the YouTube instead if you're into that. The magic box, use the YouTube that way if you prefer. Maybe get a timer that way, or your ambiance music, the lo-fi beats or whatever. Okay. All right, let's do a quick time check, and then I want to make sure, ooh, I want to give you resources too. So those math manipulatives, again, they're in the tools. But again, I don't want to step on Barry's toes because I don't know what she's planned for December 2nd. But you've got some tools up here.
And Darren, you said it was a website, right? It's just what she did with the elements of dance. You have a manipulative website page.
Yeah, you could do like GeoGebra or the Online Math Learning Center, which is an app-based touchscreen thing that would embed really well. Or yeah, there's a whole Polymath. There's a few sites that are really good for manipulatives, but.
Hi, Carissa. Thank you for being so thoughtful about the tools that I'm going to show in our next online webinar.
You're so welcome.
I'm not going to be going over those, so I do appreciate you showing that. But
Perfect.
I also just wanted you to remind everyone, especially Darren, that we have that whole list of amazing websites that work great on the board and in the embedded browser. So that'll be something we can point out to Darren. And Darren, I will definitely be adding online math tools there. Thank you so much for reminding me of that one.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Barry. Alrighty, let's pull this together with, I know that some of you are eagerly waiting for your certificate, so I'll go ahead and pull that up. And again, the recording will go in the community and on our YouTube channel as well. Oh, thanks for putting those in the chat. Alrighty, so on our community, and actually let me grab the link to as a reminder, when you fill it out, you will get the certificate via email. Just grabbing the link so I can drop it in the chat here. Oh, there's my I jumped. There's my timer. Oh, that is great. Okay, so at the top of this page here, now I know Dan mentioned this on his webinar, but we do have this one pager that gives you a nice overview of the version 2 icons of our software next to the version 3. So that way, if you're still kind of getting comfortable, print that thing out, stick it next to your screen, you're good to go. If you want to ask a question, we'll get back to you, right? I'm sure you've seen our faces popping up in the community, answering questions, talking and chatting here and there. Ask us a question, a direct link to our YouTube. Okay, keep scrolling down. Now, our interactive website document with all the interactive websites we like and recommend is right here. So what we'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll make sure I get that one that Darren mentioned added on there. If it's not already on there, I'll need to check. Okay, we'll go down a little bit more. So here's what we're going to do. We do have our online certification program. It's self-paced. It's free. You just kind of do it at your own pace. All right. Now, just the last few here, our lesson resource, you know that's in our community. Most of you found this webinar from the community, so you're familiar with that. And then our knowledge base is a great resource, encyclopedia of all things ViewBoard. So to get this page and your certificate, I'm going to drop the link in the chat to the Google form. We don't have well, unless if you're practicing on your panel, right? We don't have a panel. And for the course that you took today, you're going to make sure you want to click Community Webinar. All right, I'm going to drop it in just a second, or if you want to do it on your phone, you can scan the QR code here instead. So remember, put your name and your email so you get the certificate in the email, and choose Community Webinar.